Hi Stitchy friends, and welcome to my Flosstube channel. My name is Kenzie from Mudpuppy Stitchery. I am a cross-stitch designer, I am a bird nerd and a wildlife lover, and I enjoy doing all of the crafty things. So if you're new, welcome. I hope you like what you see, and I hope that you'll continue to follow up with me on all of my future videos. So for my current subscribers, thank you so very much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. I hope everyone has had a fantastic month. Mine has been good, and I've actually got quite a bit to show you this time, which is exciting. But I've been doing quite a bit of fully finishing, which has been really fun, so I'll show you all of those. And then I have a couple whips that I've been working on and a couple purchases as well. But yeah, so you may have noticed I have a completely different filming background. I've been super busy this past weekend doing painting and fully finishing up, and I'm really excited to show you. But I painted this room a beautiful sage green, and I've had this idea to create like a super whimsical, really pretty background that I can change with the seasons. Because I don't tend to do a lot of seasonal stitching, I thought some sort of wall hanging that I can change out that would create like a nice amount of interest and it would look good in the background. I thought that would be a good idea. But the wall hanging and the tree branches, they are both from Amazon, and I will of course link them down below. So next time I post a video in December, this will look a little bit different. But let me know what you think. I absolutely love it, and I love all the twinkle lights. I think they are just magical. But before we hop into the stitching, I would like to share with you a little wildlife minute where we talk about wildlife, biology, animals, and anything that strikes my fancy. So hopefully you'll learn something new, and hopefully it will encourage you to take a deeper dive into the wonders of the natural world. So if you are not interested in this section and you want to skip to all of the crafty stuff, you can fast forward to this time point. So next week in America, we will be celebrating a holiday called Thanksgiving. And usually when people think of Thanksgiving, people will think of the turkey. And I wanted to know why that was, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about turkeys in general. So here is my research. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, the turkey wasn't really associated with Thanksgiving until the late 1800s, most likely due to its abundance and its ability to feed a large crowd. And the link might have also been strengthened by its mention in a couple famous books of the time, including A Christmas Carol and a novel called Northwood. Now, the wild turkey, or also called Meleagris gallopavo, has 5 subspecies here in the US. And these are big, heavy birds that can weigh up to 20 pounds, which is about 2 times heavier than the average size bald eagle. And because of that, they don't fly very well and are mostly seen on the ground. But they are now found in almost 50 states, even in Hawaii, which is crazy to think about. One of the most distinctive features of the wild turkey, at least for the males, are their reddish wattle that hangs right below their neck. Now, there are no feathers on their head or on their wattle, and it has several purposes. So it will actually change color depending on what the bird is feeling. So for example, when courting females, it will turn bright red, and if the turkey gets spooked, it will turn blue. But it is also used for temperature regulation as well, by releasing any extra heat that the bird has. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode's Wildlife Minute, and we'll get right back to the regularly scheduled programming. Let's first start out with some fully finished pieces. So I think I had showed you a couple videos ago this finish of my moth piece, but it actually wasn't fully finished at that point. And I basically needed something to help cover up the loose ends of the foliage that I used, but I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for until now. So here is the piece, the fully finished piece. So this is an Etsy pattern that is no longer available, but there are many similar ones that are like it on the market. And this was stitched on 18 count Colonial Green Ada by My Vintage Needle Arts on Etsy. And I had finished the stitching portion back in July of this year, but it's not until now that it was fully and completely finished. But I was able to find a really large white pearl button at Joann's to help cover up the wire that I had used to tack the foliage into place. But I wasn't happy with just a plain white button. I was initially looking for some sort of like metal moth or like a charm or something similar, but I wasn't having any luck. But then I was in Michael's the other day and saw these beautiful painted feather moths, and it came in a 3-pack, and I thought that would be a beautiful way to finish this off. So the piece is actually tied onto a metal jewelry hanger, and this is something that I got at Hobby Lobby, so I'm able to actually stand it up, or there's actually a hole on the top here, so if I want to put it on the wall, I can do that as well. So yeah, very happy to finally have this fully finished because it has been a long time coming. Another piece that I fully finished was my Freaky Fair Isle Bat by Barbie of Pedal Pusher, and this was hosted in a stitch along with Helen D and Carla of Cobweb Corner. Now, this was actually a little bit more of an experimental piece, and it turned out quite artsy-fartsy. But it's done, and it was fun to create, so I hope you like it. But here it is. So the stitched piece was done on 18 count navy, and then I folded in the fabric to help create like a bat shape. That was very difficult to do and very finicky, but I think it turned out all right. And then around it is a painted wooden board from Joann's, where I went to town painting and splattering and covering it with lots of stickers. And then I wasn't really happy with the finish of the stickers, and so I covered it with a clear gel to give it some dimension. And then on top of that, I colored on top of it with silver Sharpie, so the letters have a nice metallic look. But this was a poem by Edward Lear, and it says, "Little brown bat who slept all day and fluttered about when the sun went away." So super duper cute. And what's really cool is the little brown bat. That is an actual species of bat that we have here in Minnesota. So I just love that. But I ended up finishing it off with sticky board around the outside in this cute little star fabric. And this is from Joann's. And because I thought it needed some grounding around the outside. But yeah, is it my favorite finish that I've ever done? Definitely not, but it was fun and it was creative and it forced me to think outside of the box a little bit, so it was good. But I'm glad to have it done and I hope you like it too. So the last fully finished piece is called Sarud e Sepeda, or Song of the Morning by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I had initially started this in June of this year as a birthday start, and then I finished the stitching in September, and then finally fully finished it on November 10th. So here it is. So this is stitched on an 18 count unknown light gray Ada, so that the white really popped out. And it was fully finished using sticky board and my brand new Kreinik custom quarter. Hopefully I can get that to focus on it. But I cannot tell you how happy I am with this finish. I think this is one of my favorite, most favorite finishes that I've ever done. I think it turned out really, really nice. And I think the cording turned out really beautifully as well. And I wasn't able to buy one from 1-2-3 Stitch by none other than Helen D here on Flosstube. She uses it so much and creates so many stunning finishes with it, and I thought that it would definitely be worth the purchase, and it totally was. So I used her awesome tutorial, which I'll of course link down below, on how to make the cording, and I think it turned out fantastic. I really like that it's got like a variegated look. I'll see if I can get a little bit closer with the white and like an avocado green and a sage green. There we go, that's a little bit better. But there's that finish, and I have been enjoying having it on display in my living room. Let's talk a little bit about some whips. I have a little bit more progress on my October 31st piece by Cottage Garden Samplings, and this is a stitch along I am doing with Lorrie of Mischievous Stitches, and we are using the hashtag OCT31SAL, and I'll make sure to put that down below. But since the last time, I was mainly able to finish the border, which is great, except there are still a whole bunch of little stars that I have yet to put in there. But I was really excited to start on the crow. But I was really happy to be able to fully outline the crow and to fully outline the pumpkin. I think that was a good amount of progress to get done. The funny thing is, I did not realize how small the pattern is, and I totally could have fit it on this side, up and down. So that was my bad. I feel kind of bad for wasting that much fabric, but oh well, it happens. But speaking of fabric, this is being stitched on 18 count cornflower by Fiber on a Whim, and it is just stunningly beautiful. And then I will probably take out the October 31st right here and just put the year that it is finished right there. Just because I want this to be displayed all year round. But I love it, and I can't wait to get some more progress on it. The other whip that I worked on was Prairie Schooler Prairie Birds, and it has been so much fun to stitch on. And I will be stitching all 10 of the designs with 5 on top and 5 on bottom for a nice long horizontal finish. And this is how far I got. So pretty. So this time I worked on the indigo buntings and on the American robins. So almost halfway done. But this is also a stitch along that my friend Gwen and I started a little bit ago, and we are using the hashtag Prairie Schooler SAL. So there's no rules, except you must be stitching on a Prairie Schooler. So if you would like to start one, or if you have one in your whips already, please feel free to join us, and I'll of course leave the hashtag down below as well. But Gwen had started and finished As the Crow Flies, and it turned out beautifully. I'm a little bit behind, but this fabric is 18 count evergreen by Fiber on a Whim, and I absolutely love it. It is just stunning. So definitely one of my favorites, and it is so beautiful. Can't wait to continue stitching on that. Moving on to something that's not cross-stitch related. I know last video that I had showed you a granny square blanket that I was working on for my friend who just recently had a baby, and I just finished it this week and really wanted to show you. So this is how it turned out. I absolutely love it, and this was so much fun to make. It was super relaxing and super easy, and this will definitely be one of my new obsessions, is making a ton of these granny square blankets, because they're just so easy and so fun. But this was stitched with Lion brand ice cream yarn in the color Oob, and Lion brand yarn A Star is Born Baby Soft in the name Twinkle Print. I really like the combination of that too. And then I ended up doing 3 rows of single crochets around the outside to really finish it off, and I think it made a really big difference in making it look complete. So very pleased about that. I'm going to wash it, I'm going to block it, and hopefully send it off within the next week or 2. Let's jump into some of my purchases. So I do have a little bit to show you. First of all, I have been really in need of project bags. And I've actually been using Ziploc gallon bags, which work for the most part, but aren't necessarily big enough or sturdy enough for my projects. So I finally bought a 20-pack of these clear zippered project bags, and they have been so handy to have. And these have just bought off of Amazon, so they're not spectacular quality, but it does the job, and it's been keeping my projects nice and organized. So there's that. And I also bought a whole bunch of binder rings and like a hole punch, just because I like to keep my floss in little sandwich bags, but this helps to keep it all together, and that has been really helpful as well. I know there are floss away bags, but sandwich bags are cheap and easy and reusable and readily available, so that's what I've been using. But super happy that my floss can be a little bit more organized in my brand new project bags. I do have a couple fabrics that I have purchased recently, and one was a very large roll of just 18 count oatmeal Aida, and that is from Michaels. And this is such a nice fabric to have on hand, just because it's going to be great for so many projects. And it's nice because I don't have much of a fabric stash, and I usually buy fabric for a particular cross-stitch piece that I have in mind, but I would like to start collecting a few extra to have on hand, just so that I have some options for the future. So I've actually become absolutely obsessed with fiber on a whim, and I know that I am very late to the party, but I have been just so extremely impressed with the quality of their fabrics and the color range, and I have been loving them recently. So I actually picked up a fat quarter of pistachio, which Denise from Black Ribbon Stitch Studio swears by, and oh my goodness, it is just spectacular. Look at how yummy it is. So this is definitely going to be one of my new favorites. So thank you so much, Denise, for the fabulous suggestion. There's quite a few new Fiber on a Whim colors coming out pretty soon, and so I have definitely signed up for an email notification when they are finally back in stock at 123 Stitch. So I will probably have more fabric to show you for next time. But as we all know, no purchase can travel alone, and so I did finally buy a Quaker's Welcome from Lila's Studio, and this has been on my list for a long time. It is just so classic and so beautiful, and I cannot wait to stitch this. Because I'm usually not a big sampler type stitcher, I probably won't stitch the alphabet in the middle and kind of just condense these two sides together, or these two halves together, with that long border right in the middle. So I'm so glad to finally have this in my collection. Very excited to get started on this soon. Alright, let's talk a little bit about a freebie and some future new starts. So for this week's freebie, I wanted to show you one that I had printed out a long time ago and have been wanting to stitch for a long time. So this will definitely be a new start very soon, and I'm thinking of starting it on Thanksgiving. But this is Reindeer and Friends by Nerdon Conber, and I will put the link down below so that you can also download it. But it is this adorable little reindeer with lots of other animals hanging out with him, and I want to have this done before Christmas so I can make it into an ornament and hang it on my tree this year. So darn cute, and I think it should be a super quick and easy stitch. If you happen to watch Michelle from Mama Loves You GB here on Flosstube, she had actually mentioned in her November 5th video that in the new year, she would really like to start a stitch along with 6 of the Pinker and Pumpkin house designs, and I immediately decided that I was going to join in. So Michelle was even kind enough to put out links to like 20 or 30 of the designs. So that was awesome and super appreciated. But if you're interested, you can take a look at her Instagram, and she has chosen her 6, and I have also chosen my 6 as well. So I chose 2 fall designs, 2 spring designs, and I have 2 summer designs. So the first one is going to be Pumpkin Blossom Inn with those amazing crows. That one's going to look super good right next to Ophelia Manor on Pumpkin Holler Lane. So love those 2 together. And then for the spring, I am going to be doing the Spring Green Salt Box with the Katie Ann Salt Box right next to each other. And then for summer, I am going to be doing the U House and the Strawberry Salt Box right next to each other. So super excited to start this in the new year. I don't think Michelle has come up with a hashtag yet, but I will keep you updated. All right, Stitchy friends, that is all that I have for you today. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please like the video, please comment down below and check out my Etsy page, also linked down below. And please follow me at Mudpuppy Stitchery on Instagram to keep an eye on what I'm doing in between videos. So I appreciate you so very much, and I hope to see you in a couple weeks. So take care, do some bird watching, and stitch all the things. Bye!